I'm doing pretty well, good sir. You able to hear me okay? Perfect. Perfect. Man, one of these days I'll actually get my sound systems together. You know, one of these days I'll get my whole setup, my set a little bit better over here. I'm doing well, sir. How are you doing on this fine Saturday night? Oh, those are the worst. Uh, oh, mm, uh, uh, I you know what? It still blows my mind. Like E3, like every single year it comes up, I'm just like, no way. Like it's already coming up again. It's already that time of the year again. Like I'm super stoked for it. I'm super stoked for E3. Super stoked to see what all they have to announce, what all new games we're going to be seeing. I already know that my wallet's not really liking me right now with the games, like the games I'm buying. So my wallet's really gonna smack my face when I see this, where I'm like, "Ooh, I want to play it. I want to get some more games." I'm super excited. Um, but we are going to be talking about some anime today. And first up, looks like we're going to be talking about My Hero, which, sir, this is this was, and I believe I told you this was the moment. This was the thing that I have been telling you guys about. The thing that I have been saying, pay attention. Pay attention to this round. Something's gonna happen. Didn't want to spoil it. Something was gonna happen. Something happened. And I want to hear your thoughts. I have been sitting on this moment for so many 2 years. I've been sitting on this. I have been sitting on this for that freaking long. Where I'm just like, now I'm finally able to talk about it. Now I'm finally able to talk to my friends and whoever else wants to talk about it with you guys. Like, oh, sir, what did you think of this episode? Uh, looks like it was season 5, episode 98. Mm-hmm. Moroma, I think so, something like that. Starts with an M. The really obnoxious guy that like wears like a he wears like a butler suit and like has like the clock like the little like pocket watches all over. His quirk is to copy people. He's always the obnoxious guy from Class B that's like, nah, ha, ha, ha. We're better than you because we're Class B. Even though we're not as cool as you, we're better than you. That guy. I love it. I absolutely love it. Uh, uh, oh, Uraraka. Hmm. 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 It's called Black Whip. Hmm. 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 He's gonna have a lot more than that. And it's altogether it's six, I think, total different abilities, like other than just one for all that he'll be able to manifest is what the episode explains. Where essentially the premise of one for all is that it's a It's a kinetic. It's a quirk that stockpiles kinetic energy that was combined originally with a quirk that where you're just able to pass on that quirk. Literally, like originally with the first user, his quirk was just to be able to pass on a quirk that just didn't do anything. That was all you could do, and it did nothing. But when All for One gave him that kinetic stockpiling quirk, those two quirks combined into a quirk that you can pass down this kinetic stockpiling quirk. And so the more time that it had with each user, the more it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger, which is why by the time you get to All Might, that's why he's so freaking amazing. That's why he's so powerful. He can change the friggin' weather with a punch. Like, that's how much power has been stored in All Might. Essentially, all of that power has been passed on to Deku. And what that user, which I don't remember his name, but he's the fifth user. He's the fifth user of One for All. And what he explains is that it's that same kind of explanation as to those two quirks combining. That same thing happened with every other user of One for All. They all had their own base quirks, and over time, all of their quirks end up combining with One for All. So he now eventually will have access to all of these different quirks. So it's not just one kinetic stockpiling quirk where he's just able to just like rip people like with kinetic punches and kicks. He's now able to summon like whips that are made of just black shadows. And at this point, I already know all of the other quirks except for one of them because they haven't revealed it just yet. But at this, yeah, actually the last week's chapter actually revealed I believe it was it was I think like the sixth. It was what like this most recent chapter like just revealed one of the other quirks. Where like if that tells you anything, like they're really dragging this out because this is actually something that they're really doing a great job of just sprinkling in like just enough spice to just be like, hey, this is what's going on, and then they're extending it on. And it doesn't feel dragged out either. Like at like it like by the time he figures out like one quirk, like he'll come into contact with another. And over time you start to learn about all of the other quirks that all of the previous users had. And this is again what I have been sitting on for so freaking long that I'm just like, oh, I want to tell you guys. I want to tell you so bad that it's not just punches, it's not just kicks. He's gonna get whips. He's gonna be Spider-Man. Like our boy Deku's gonna be basically like when I found that out when I read the manga, I'm like, cool, so he's Spider-Man now. Like cool, so he's got because like I mean Spider-Man already has like increased strength, but he's not like anything like Deku. Like Deku's basically like a roided out Spider-Man with this quirk. And it just keeps getting more nuts and nuts. Like the more quirks that they reveal, the more quirks that they show, it keeps getting spicy. It keeps getting spicy. And this is again what I have been waiting to show. I've been waiting to tell you for so long. I said it last week. I was gonna take a screenshot of this. That way you knew exactly what it was. This was that moment in the manga. Is that Yeah, it was that moment right there. That screenshot I took last week. That was the moment where where they're just like they're telling him like, hey, like it's not time yet. And the black whip manifests itself. And it the implications for this going forward is so great. Because ultimately, like when you look at like what they're doing, like this is just supposed to be like a friendly competition between two high school classes. That's all this is. It's supposed to be like a friendly competition between two high school classes. When Deku like gets to the point where it starts going nuts, and he looks at the other classmate, and he looks at him and goes, "Run!" Like it makes it go from a very light-hearted like, "Oh yeah, we're just using superpowers and having fun and blah blah blah," and it turns into this much more dire, serious moment. And honestly, those are the moments in this series that I love the most. Really dire, serious moments where it is life or death. It is like, hey, like I can't control this, and I probably am going to hurt you. Like, so get your little cute little copy quirk out of here, because you are about to get crushed. Like, oh, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like like have you ever like had like have you like in high school or just being in school in general? You're in gym class, maybe you guys are playing a sport back and forth, maybe someone gets hurt and everyone just kind of like hurt, but you have that one person who keeps playing, like scores a point, and they're like, "What? They never called it. They never said it was like they never said to stop." Like that's basically like what the copy guy did. Where he just started to throw stuff at Decky. He was like, "They didn't stop the match." It's like, what are you doing? Like, come on. Like, no offense, but this guy could have killed you. You could have died. And you're just over here like, oh, we're still having fun. Like, 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 calm yourself. Chill out. Your quirk is interesting, but it's not nearly as impressive as this. And it, it just, all I have to say is it keeps getting better. It keeps getting better from here, is all I have to say. So I'm it really is just one of those moments where you read the manga and then you're just like, I can't wait to see this animated. I can't wait to see the crisp, beautiful animation that goes with this. I can't wait to hear the beautiful soundtrack that's going to go with it. I can't wait to hear all of the amazing voice actors reprising their roles and just really like just putting it their full effort into it. And it's one thing to read it, but it's another to like experience it as an anime, and you're just like, oh, I can't wait. Again, I was waiting so freaking long for this moment. Finally got my moment. Couldn't be happier. Oh, is the new episode out? You know what? I that was one of the first things that I checked this morning. It's gotta come. Do you know what time it comes out? That's probably why was doing my big boy job at that time. I was checking for that all morning. I was like, is it up? No, it's not up. Is it up now? No, no, it's not up now. Is it up now? No, it's not up now. I gotta wait for it. Uh, and like I said last week, like this is a series that like my fiance loves. This is a series that like Abs absolutely loves, and it's nice. It's just nice to just be able to have those types of series where your partner's just like, oh my gosh, I want to watch this anime. I'm like, oh my gosh, me too.
Is I just realized that this whole time my mic has been muted. Yeah. Yeah, I just realized that just now. So, what up, everybody? It's your boy Flash for LWT Gaming, aka Malachai36. I am here. It's all day anime. We just got done talking. You guys only heard one side of it. Yeah, you guys only heard one side of our discussion with My Hero Academia. But ultimately, cannot wait for that to come out. Can't wait to see what that's going to be like and see what the next episode has to offer. The anime I just mentioned, which we're kind of going to the second portion, was Tokyo Revengers, and it comes out roughly around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So take that with you as you will. But yeah, it comes out. The latest episode came out today, and the way the last episode, which I think is like episode 10, maybe I could be wrong about that, but the way eight, so yeah, I was about to say, I know it's still kind of early on, but the way the last episode ended was that Takemichi, anyone that hasn't been following up, highly recommend it and get caught up, because I think you guys would really enjoy it. But the way that it ends was that Mikey and Draken are having a conflict, and they're throwing things at each other, but at Takemichi's house, and they're breaking all of Takemichi's stuff, and these are Takemichi's memories. So he's getting pretty pissed off that he's telling them to stop, and they just keep doing X, Y, and Z. Then the episode ends with him practically going Super Saiyan and like of rage. And then this episode today starts off at that scene, and it's interesting how Takemichi handles the situation. And then it's also interesting how he comes to a realization of an event that he was trying to do. And also in this episode, I cannot help but love Hina. She is awesome. She is waifu. Yeah, she is waifu all the way, man. She is legit. Absolutely love her character. Absolutely love the relationship that she has with Takemichi. Absolutely love everything about their relationship in general. It's just great. It's just absolutely great. And this also ends with you wondering, like, crap, like, I want to see the next episode. So again, if you guys have yet to watch it, you have something to look forward there, Gravity-Mark. But I'm telling you guys, if you guys have not watched it, I would highly recommend it. It's on Crunchyroll. It is in sub. It's not in dub yet. And if you guys want to check out our predictions, or if we had chose up a voice acting lineup, make sure you got for English voice actors, make sure you guys check out our episode, which is episode 19 of All Day Anime. This is episode 20 for 5/29/21. But make sure you guys check out our last week's episode, which was on 5/22 for that, because we kind of discuss a little bit about the English voice actors and actresses and see who will be good fits for each one. So definitely a good segment there. But yeah, and actually, now I'm at it, let me go ahead and give a shout out to Aiden is Monk. I don't know if that's Monk or Monk or Monkey, but you definitely gave us the recent follow. So thank you very much again for that. We appreciate that. And I know I said this before on Smite Night. Got to say it again. Sweating Llama for the rescribe for Amazon Prime, which is also Twitch Prime. Definitely appreciate you for that. Remember, guys, if you guys have Amazon Prime and you guys have a Twitch account, you link them together. Every month, you guys get a free Prime sub. You guys can sub to anyone on Twitch as you like. If you guys like the sub, and it won't cost you anything extra because you're already getting it. It's already included on that. So if you guys want to sub to ALWT Gaming on Twitch, just make sure you guys have your link to your Prime account linked to your Twitch account, and you're good to go. You just got to sub, and then you just have to do that every month. It doesn't auto renew, unfortunately. But if you guys don't want to use it for us, make sure you guys are using it for other Twitch streamers that's out there. You guys can help support them and all that good stuff. Definitely some good content out there, and an easy way to support your Twitchers. But yeah, so like I said, you are in it. you and Abs, I'm not sure if you guys go watch it tonight, but I think you guys will definitely enjoy this episode. I think you guys are gonna like the layout of it, and it's setting the groundwork for something bigger.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Fully echo what you're saying about this show. Don't sleep on the show. Please don't. Please do yourself a favor. Like, please watch the show. Like, take some time off of work. Go. I feel good. Watch. Just take a day. Watch the show. But just do yourself a favor. This show is so good. Yeah, because I was fully expecting, at the very least, like with the end of the last episode, where they're just throwing all of Takamichi's stuff, where he's like, "Oh, my skateboard," and then they're throwing his bike. They're like, "Oh, my bike!" Then they're throwing his bat. They're like, "Oh, my baseball bat that was signed by somebody." Like I was fully expecting it to just be one of those moments where he was just gonna like he was just gonna get sad over all of it, and then they weren't gonna fit. And then Mikey and Draken weren't gonna finish their fight, or something was gonna break it up. Like, fine, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Like, blah blah blah. Fine. They were just gonna leave. Then Takamichi would have to figure out how to bring them back together. But it sounds like it's taking a different route where he's actually able to resolve it.
Completely different route.
And to me, I love that because I was not expecting it. Because when he was all like going Super Saiyan at the end, where he's like, "Hey, quit breaking my stuff," like I was like, "Oh, so is this part of the gag?" He's just gonna be like, "Quit breaking my stuff," and then they're gonna be like, "What'd you say?" And he's gonna be like, "Nothing, I didn't say anything."
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Like, that's what I expected.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Thank you, thank you, author of Tokyo Revengers, because like I feel like that's just the trope. Like far too often is like that's the trope. Like when stuff like when people start fighting and they start breaking like someone else's stuff, they're like, "My stuff." Like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like the cabbage guy. He's like, "My cabbages." You remember that guy?
No, I haven't finished. He was like Avatar.
A running character.
Yeah, I haven't finished Avatar.
Oh well, there's a running. Well, if you haven't seen it, there's a running character, like a reoccurring character, where it's just a guy like with a cabbage cart, where he's just selling cabbages, and like every so often, like the Avatar gang is doing something where they're running through a city or like they're running away from somebody, and they end up like this guy's cabbage cart keeps getting knocked over. Every time he does it, he's like, "My cabbages." like to me, like that's what I felt like this was gonna be, where it was just gonna be like "You're breaking my stuff," like, and then they're like they get serious, like the gag character gets serious for a second. They're like, "Quit breaking it." It's like, "What?" Like, "What'd you say?" It's like, "I didn't say anything." And then they just go their separate ways. He's like, "Now I gotta figure out how to bring them back together."
Yeah.
Like that, but like to me, like I love this. I love this type of storytelling, and honestly, like from the types of stories that I'm seeing from that are more recent, I'm absolutely the anime that we have been seeing within the last, I'd say like 5, like maybe like 4 or 5 years, have been absolute bangers. They have been so good. Like I was just telling you before we started the cast, I just finished reading the manga of Demon Slayer, all of it. All 205 chapters, all of it.
Yep.
And I have never been more excited for an anime to come back up. More excited than My Hero. Like, I will say that. Like, and just to, this isn't a spoiler, but like, just thought I'd give you guys some peace of mind. The ending is good. The ending is actually really good. Like, it was like the perfect, like I've been trying to think of like different ways to explain how this made me feel, but it just made me sigh with relief, where I was like, "Oh, thank God this was good." like you know how like when you were younger, like your parents or your teacher, like whatever, is like someone's like reading a story to you, and they're like, it's like, and then the like da 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 da, the end. You close it, like it's like you they close it, and you're like, "Oh, that was good. That was really good. I don't need any more than that." I don't like if they added more than that, it wouldn't hurt. But the way that they wrapped everything up, they didn't add too much, they didn't have too little. They wrapped everything up perfectly, And like I feel like far too often, like with certain series, especially like I feel like recently we've been getting a lot of really great series, but we've also been getting a lot of really like disappointing endings, let's say. Like in anime terms, Promise Neverland was the biggest one that I can think of right now. But like in like TV, you also have Game of Thrones. You have Dexter. You had there was another one, Breaking Bad. Like the stories themselves were good, but like there was just something about the ending that just put people off. Ending for Demon Slayer, perfect. Like when that storybook just went the end, I didn't feel the need to like rip that book open and just be like, nope, nope, nope. I'm pretty sure there's some pages left. Excuse me, I think you skipped over some things. And I'm so excited for this anime to come up. Um, we haven't gotten any sort of announcements for you, have we? For
No,
the next season.
not yet. I mean, of course, you guys, if you guys are watching this right now, you guys already know that me and Gravity have already watched Mugen Train. A great movie, in our opinions, and of course, there's a review locked up that you guys can check out on YouTube. You might have to search for it, but it is on there with the little Demon Slayer, what's it called, little template. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, they haven't said anything further additionally concerning that, and I think we'll probably hear something this year. We'll probably hear at least another release date for Demon Slayer season 2. I don't think I saw anything officially from them, but I do remember that there was an article that I was looking up that had a list of all these animes that were banger animes talking about returning of Bleach and Shaman King and the next season for Rising of the Shield Hero and stuff like that. Real fast about
that. I'm really excited.
Yeah. For Demon Slayer, if you had to guess how many surprises from Mugen Train all the way until the end, if you had to guess a number of how many things were just like either hyped up or like were absolutely crazy, like you did not see it coming, what number of events like that had taken place?
Shoot.
It doesn't have to be exact, but I'm just
gosh,
saying, yeah, if you had to guess like an estimation.
more than 20.
More than 20?
More than 20.
Okay.
Like I'll say this, like after Mugen Train, there's enough content to go at least 2 to 3 more seasons with this. Like if they wanted to do it well, they could do like 3 seasons, maybe like 2 seasons in a movie. But it like if you like you know, do you remember like when the internet blew up, like with episode 19, like where Tanjiro's sword was broken and Nezuko like had her, like just she had her demon blood like drip onto like the like what was left of his blade, and it exploded and it just rocketed around to cut that spider demon's head off.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was just this massive light show where like it lit the internet up. People like who you didn't know liked anime said they liked anime because like just because of how hyped this moment was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the only moment. That's not the only time we're going to be seeing something that exciting. Like moments like that are going to keep coming, and it makes me so excited because like just looking at the quality, not just of the movie, but of the first anime season in general. Like if they keep up this quality, like I'm gonna lose my mind with happiness with what's coming up.
Do you know? Go ahead.
Oh, all I was gonna just say is my catchphrase when I don't know what else to say, when I lose my words. It's so good. So good.
Would you now that you got caught up on the manga, do you think that when season 2 comes for Demon Slayer, they're gonna fill in like the first 20 episodes of Mugen Train, or do you think they're just gonna pick up right after Mugen Train? I know we talked about this before. I know there's speculation about it, but now with you finishing it officially, I just kind of curious to see if your thoughts have ever changed, wavered, anything like that.
Honestly, I don't think so. Because I'll say this, the the arcs that we see in the very beginning, like the storylines that we see in the first season, they're not that long. Like ultimately, like they're not that long. Like Tanjiro uh training to become a demon slayer, Tanjiro like going to the mountain to take his exam to become a demon slayer, uh ultimately like where he meets Zenitsu and Inosuke and like the spider demon mountain like arc. Like, ultimately like those arcs are not that long. Even the Mugen Train arc, that arc wasn't that long. The arcs that follow this are definitely longer. They're much more information jammed, but like it's not like a bad information. Like it's packed to the brim with just delicious. It's like a little bento box. Like you open it up, everything's just packed to like the edges of the box, and you're just like, this is all good. This all looks so freaking good. Like you get to like they talk more about like in the Mugen Train movie. Like you see one of the reasons that Tanjiro wants to talk to Rengoku is because he wants to talk to him about this fire technique that he has. He's like, hey, like my dad taught me this dance, and now like my sword catches on fire when I do it. I learned water breathing. Like, what is this? And you know, sadly, he doesn't really get a whole lot of information at that time. But I will say, very shortly after the events of that, you find out exactly what it is. You don't find out a whole lot about it, but you find out exactly what it is. And I love that like they're just like, "Oh, yeah, it's this." And it does like link into uh some of the other breathing techniques, and it's this yeah. It like honestly like after like Mugen Train, and I think I know why they really wanted to have this as a movie, because moving forward from this, it focuses on the upper, like the upper rank demons. Like it focuses on all the upper rank demons. It focuses on Muzan. It focuses on the history of all of the Demon Slayer core, and it does such a great job of being able to tell each character's backstory, so that way you can get invested in these characters. It doesn't have like I feel like to an extent My Hero has too many characters. I'll say it. I love the story, but it has too many characters to follow. There's a lot of characters that I just do not give two shits about, and I'm just like I don't care. Like cut them out. Like they're fine background characters. I don't really care for them. But Demon Slayer has just the right amount of characters, but they also have Murata, which I don't know if you remember him, but he was one of the Demon Slayer guys that was the Demon Slayer guys that was on like the Spider Mountain, where he was trying to fight off some of his like his teammates, his friends, who are also Demon Slayers, and Tanjiro saves him.
Yeah, I remember that.
After like Tanjiro, yeah, and so like and after he goes back, like after like the events of that where Tanjiro's he's at the mansion and he's like resting up, Murata goes to visit him. He's like, "Oh, hey, Murata." Like that character continuously shows up. Does he do anything important? Kind of here and there. He doesn't like have like big time to shine moments. He's just a background character that they gave a name, and they have him as a recurring character. And I think that's there's just something so endearing about that. Something so great about it, where like every time like you see this background character, where it's not like where like they might have like a scene where like there's like maybe like 3 or 4 Demon Slayers, and it's not like Tanjiro and Demon Slayer A, Demon Slayer B, Demon Slayer C.
Right.
Like there's there's Tanjiro, and oh, that's Murata. What's up, Murata? What are you doing here? Like it's just kind of nice to just see that kind of recurring character just keep popping up, and it's super nice. It's super good. I felt so satisfied with it. I felt so satisfied with it. I haven't felt this satisfied with a series in a really long time. And you already know I'm super picky. I am super picky. I can be picky. Like you've had to tell me a couple times to be like, "Hey, you're being a little bit picky with this." I'm like, "Yes, I know." But like this one, I had no nitpicks. This was really great. And this is something that I'm just like, I'm just glad something like this exists. Um, Now that I'm done reading that, I'm gonna be reading some other stuff. I've already picked back up. I'm only on chapter 8 though, of My Hero Vigilantes. That one, I don't know if they're ever going to turn into an anime. If they don't, that's fine. But that one's also a really fun series. I'm also gonna be picking up the manga To Your Eternity.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. You were
if
talking to me
you,
about that, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and if you haven't watched that anime yet, again, do yourself a favor. Please do yourself a favor. This is another series that Abs also loves. Like out of like the two, like out of the series that we're watching right now, the two that she bugs me the most to check up on are Tokyo Revengers and To Your Eternity. She's like, did they come out with another episode yet? Like almost daily. Like, is there another episode? Like, did they? Like, I want to watch more. It's this series is also really good. Um, but I'm trying to find like just find the time to like fit in certain series, like especially like anime. Like I'll try to watch some before I start work, and then usually on my days off. But like more often, I'm finding like if I have like a few minutes here or a few minutes there, I'll just read the manga. But all in all, like I'm super ecstatic for what I've read so far, these series and what we have to watch. But you were also telling me something else before we started because you were talking about like some sort of like poll where they put Demon Slayer against
Yeah, let me see if I
Haikyuu.
can find it real fast because it was on. I saw it on Facebook. I can't remember exactly who.
Because you have you finished Haikyuu?
Well,
Or have you like caught up to wherever they're at?
yeah, I'm all the way caught up to that. Yeah, but I'm not like it's still going on. We're still waiting for the next season to come out. Let's see.
All in all, like, how do you feel about like compared to like other series that you've watched? How does Haikyuu make you feel? Like, is it like it's good? Is it like
So the thing that I've noticed I will say this, the thing that I've noticed in sports animes that I've seen so far, I've only seen a couple, but the thing that I've noticed in sports animes is that they'll kind of follow the same, how can I put it? They kind of follow the same pattern. And what I mean by that is something like they start building up their teamwork and all that good stuff, and then a travesty will happen within the anime, and I'll leave that up to your imagination. You probably know where I'm going with it, but yeah, but they'll go ahead and a travesty will happen. It sets them back, and then the next tournament comes or the next whatever happens, and then they come back stronger than ever, and they're just like on a hot streak. So that's kind of been the I guess you could say the trope with that. Let me see if I can find. I'm still trying to. Let me see if I have it on my phone actually.
yeah? Because ultimately, like I feel so bad because like it's not that like I didn't like Haikyuu, it's just that I just forgot to keep watching it, and I keep forgetting to pick it back up. Or like I've seen like how many episodes have I seen? I've seen like a decent amount of the first season, but I haven't finished the first season. And from what I've seen, it looks really good. I know it is a critically acclaimed series, and I know it's really good. But ultimately, like it's just one of those series that I'm just like, what do you think? Like how do you feel about it? Because like sports anime, I also have like I go back and forth on.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes I'm just like, oh, cool. Like for me, like I need to be in the mood for a sports anime.
It is fantastic.
You know, like,
this one in particular is one that is like really really good. Because like I said, I'm not the one that really plays volleyball or even really pays attention to volleyball for real. But this one had made me be like, okay, this is really, and I think one of it is because the very first episode, there's the premise of it's really cool. You have a kid that's short, orange hair. He's in elementary school, and he's in elementary school, and he's going to go ahead and like he plays soccer, pretty good at soccer, but he's driving on his bike one day, and he sees something on the TV,
and it's like on national television, and it's volleyball, and he sees this short kid that looks just as short as he was, like go up against these 3 really tall guys that are like just giants, but then he ends up jumping over them still and scoring a point still. And he was just like, wow, like what? And then and there's other people that standing around that's just like, hey, that's Krasno. They're really good this year. Yeah, that's their number 10. They're a little tiny giant. And that stuck with him because, again, he can relate. He's a short kid. And so after he saw that, he's like, all right, dope. I need to go ahead and start playing some volleyball. And he starts playing volleyball in middle school, goes to his first tournament, gets wrecked. They end up getting worked. But there's a ball that like goes completely gets shanked. And that illustration of him pretty much like flashing to that ball was so intense and so dope that I was just like, huh, there's something dope here. There's something like unique here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show it to you. I can't find that little thing, but this is what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm actually going to pull up that scene so that way I can show you right here. Okay. All right. There we go. Let's see. Peanut. Let's see. I guess it would be technically episode 1. Okay, here it is. They labeled it here. Hinata's first match. All right, here it is. Yeah, it gets really intense.
Yeah, because I know which moment you're talking about. It was actually this moment that actually really got me interested in just sports anime in general. Because again, you already know me, sports, I can take it or leave it. Like I'm not the quote unquote traditional guy where I keep up with sports and like I have my favorite teams. I just watch ESPN all the time. Like I'm not that stereotypical guy. I'm more so like the weird guy that just watches cartoons as an adult. So for me to like watch a series, to like actually be interested in a series where they're actually playing sports, I'm like, oh, like that's really cool. Because I played sports in high school, not a lot, but I did play some. But like especially like with what you were talking about with what Hinata like went through, where he joined, like he was playing volleyball like in middle school, and he stuck with it. Because if memory serves, like there wasn't serves, unintended there. Like if my memory serves correctly, like it was
Yeah, it's playing right now. This is for anyone that's currently watching right now. Of course, you guys have to go to the YouTube version of to see this, but yeah, well, they didn't show
that right there. Oh,
yeah, they didn't show the full thing, but the illustration on that was just so like it was so intense. And like I said, there's a moment there. Let me go and rewind it again. But there's a moment here where he all right, so he hits it, they save it, he hits it, he's like, we're not losing, smacks it, he's rushing, he doesn't get it, they get the point. And then right here, like his buddy, they're skipping something. Yeah, they're skipping something right there because that's how that happened just now is not actually how it went. So like they skipped a little bit right there because what had happened is that one of his buddies was trying to set it, and when he sets it, instead of setting it forward like he wanted to, it rolls off his fingers and it goes back. And it was like it was just to a point to where nobody was there, but nobody was marking. Like no one was over there, no one was marking it. If it hit the ground, then that would have been Hinata's middle school at that point. They would have been out. And Next thing you know, Hinata just rushes over there, jumps up, which is where you guys see this illustration, smacks it. It looks like it's a really, really, really good spike. And then next thing you know, you look over and it was just outside the line, and they ended up losing that tournament. So that's kind of where it was for them. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure why why whoever had illustrated this made those like fast forward attempts or whatever. But
probably copyright.
I mean, even
But
so,
imagine copyright. So that way they.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen.
like, I don't, because like ultimately, like I don't know, like if that falls under fair use or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that like when you upload stuff to YouTube, like especially like when it's stuff like that, like you like what we just did was fair use. So like like when you like show that, like that's fair use. But like if you're gonna like completely upload something and it's like like if you're like ripping it like directly from the original source, I think there's some like copyright issues, some fair use issues like that might crop up. But Haikyuu, yeah, is from what I've heard absolutely amazing. From what I've seen is really good, and it's definitely something that I really need to get back into. But as I was scrolling through some of my favorited stuff on Crunchyroll, because I was trying to scroll through some of those to see like what I was still watching, like what I was trying to catch up on. I came across Black Clover. Let me tell you, I haven't watched Black Clover since probably the beginning of last year.
I believe
Now,
it.
manga wise, I've been religiously reading it every single week it comes out. So I'm still fully caught up on the manga, which by the way, this most recent chapter of Black Clover was absolutely amazing. Magna does some pretty dope stuff. We get to see Magna pull off something really cool, so that I'm really excited to see. But have you been watching Black Clover? Because I haven't seen it in about a year.
Well, there's no new
By the
episodes.
way.
They're
Are they done? Are they on a break?
Yeah, they're on a break right now. There hasn't been any new episodes recently. The last thing we left off at
Thank God. Thank God.
the last thing that we left off at on Black Clover was and spoilers for anyone that's currently watching Black Clover. The last thing that we left off at was that you met the vice president of the Black Bulls. At this point, Yami and Von I can't remember his name, but Vengeance. I think it's Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Yeah, both of them have been captured right now. So that has happened, and they're getting ready to go into pretty much hell to and fight all the demons that have the 80% and above. They're about to go ahead and try to save Yami and Vengeance, and that's where they stopped at. So and let me rephrase. Let me actually stop. Let me say this: they did go ahead and have it to where,
crap.
Asta. Yeah, that's the thing. Like that they. Yeah. Asta
This
in
is what
general.
happens like when you add too many characters. Like you just can't remember people.
Well, it's not even so much that I don't think that Black Clover has too many characters. I think that they went on break at a weird time. And I say that because they gave us episodes, which was great, but then they gave us 2 months of filler, and then they came out with episodes, and now they're officially on break. So it's just like those 2 months of filler was practically just, you might as well have just been on break. Like that's how it has no relation to the story. So that's the part that I was just like, okay, I'm not really feeling that. But yeah, Yami changed like the way that this was building up until the point to where Yami got captured. It was going really, really good. But right now we're at a point to where again everybody's getting ready to go down there. Asta had to get stronger. So what they did is that he had to pretty much become like he was supposed to fight his demon and enslave his demon. But instead of doing that, he fought his demon and he befriended his demon, and that demon actually recognizes that it was his mom that actually ended up being like friends with the demon first and looking out, because like now Asa's mom is dead and everything like that. But it's all after Yeah, it's all after like again this demon was already taken care of and all that good stuff, and it's just I don't know. It's just very interesting to kind of see how that was kind of going. And I do like some of the story directions that they're going with it. I just think it was just a really weird time period of what they ended up doing with. And also got to give a shout out to Muhizi, which I ended up figuring out a little bit later anyway. But
thank you.
Yeah, he gave me a text and let me know that my my audio was off. But yeah, like I said, we got that fixed, so we're good to go. We got 4 minutes left. Is there any animes that you either A, want to put on your list that you want to start next week, or B, is there any animes that you would have there as considered as your hidden gem?
Well, let me see here. Just go to my handy dandy my list on Crunchyroll to see if there's anything new on here. Let me see. Honestly, like I feel kind of bad because a lot of these series have kind of finished. You know what? Like I think I've briefly mentioned this in the past. I've heard really good things about World Trigger. I've heard like just from like a few different places said that this was a really great series. Full disclosure, I have no idea. So if this is bad, please don't hurt me. Please don't yell at me. I'm a very sensitive boy. So yeah, I don't know, but I've heard good things, so I definitely do want to watch that one. What else is there? My gosh, like a lot of the stuff I've like actually caught up on. But I am gonna be rewatching at some point, probably like closer to the end of summer. I'm gonna be rewatching that Shield Hero, so that way I can actually like get just kind of refreshed before going back into it. Oh wait, there was another series that I wanted to watch that I added to my list, and as soon as I find it, I know those Snow White Notes. I know I've mentioned this like briefly in the past. Those Snow White Notes. It's an anime about shamisen. I think that's what they're called. Like they're like the Japanese guitars. It's about like just a guy who just does like shamisen stuff. Where I guess like his like grandfather was like a legend at the stuff, and now he's kind of picking up on it. Food Wars. I do want to get back into that. I've read quite a bit of the manga. I think the series ended, but I think that was also another series where people were like, "Man, the ending sucked." I'm just like, "Oh, great, thanks for that." I've also said this in the past. Rent a Girlfriend, keeping that in my back pocket for a rainy day. Just like when I've run out of stuff to do, when the dry season of anime comes around, I have that in my back pocket. I also need to catch up on Fire Force.
Yeah, that was a great one. Yeah.
Like honestly, like I watched like I think like half of the first season as it was coming out, and for whatever reason, I just wasn't satisfied with it.
Oh, you didn't.
So
you completely did yourself a disservice. Completely, 100%.
I did because I heard so many great things about it. Gintama, I've already read the first 3 volumes of that in the manga, but I've heard that's also a classic. There's also 2 more series that I'm wanting to get into that I'm very hesitant about. And it's just because of how titanic these series are. One of them is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I have watched, I think, like all of the first season, but it's been a couple of years. But JoJo, like in terms of like anime, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a huge series. Has a huge fan base. It has a huge following. All you gotta quote is Dio. And like honestly, like when I was watching one of the Star Wars movies, like when they had like one of the little the little droids rolling out, they're like, oh, like its name is Dio, and I was like, oh, like from JoJo, like I got a JoJo reference, like without having to fully watch JoJo. And the thing about it is that this series is so big, and it's actually like relatively old too.
It's very
like this
old.
series is so big that it has influenced so many series afterwards. And I didn't know that it did, but after I found out it did, there were so many moments where I was actually reading manga. I was like, oh, that was a JoJo reference. That was absolutely a JoJo reference, and I haven't even fully watched it, and I feel like I'm just doing myself a discredit. So I do want to get into JoJo. Another one, and this one I'm very hesitant on, is One Piece.
Oh, I'm not even gonna touch that.
One
I'm
of
not gonna touch it.
one of these days, very soon. There's actually a guy on YouTube that I've been watching for a while, Mother's Basement. If you haven't checked out his stuff, please check it out. Absolutely amazing content. He actually just blew through One Piece. Like I think within like it was either a couple weeks or it was a couple months. Like he was reading the manga. But like I think totally not Mark. They just blew through the manga and are fully caught up, and it gives me hope that I might be able to catch up if I read the manga, because I've heard that the anime suffers from like filler arc.
Yeah.
Oh no, recap syndrome.
Oh,
I heard the anime suffers from
has filler
recap syndrome,
too,
where like. Yeah, I've heard it has filler too.
Yeah, and that's actually the thing that drove me away from it, is because like I remember One Piece when I was like in middle school, and
yeah,
and like
it was a fun series.
Yeah, well, I remember it there. I never got home in time to watch it, so I never really cared to start it. And then when I got a little older, I was getting to that point where I was just like, oh, let me go check this out. And one of my buddies actually was watching One Piece, but it was a filler episode, and it was the dumbest filler episode I've ever seen in my life. And I was just like, yeah, it's almost as dumb as when Naruto was trying to figure out what Kakashi looks like after underneath the mask. It was almost as ridiculous.
You know what? I actually love that episode. Oh, don't hate me. I actually really love. It was a fun episode. It was actually really fun just to see these characters just take a pause, just to be like, what does he look like under his mask? I wonder what he looks like.
But to be fair though, to be fair, if you're a hardcore Naruto fanatic and you waited a week for that, that's when it would be. I mean, because like now, if we won't go back and watch it, you can just skip it. But and then you can also even go, even if you get done with it, you can be like, all right, now I'll go and watch some of the fillers and see what they're getting at too. That was kind of what I was going through with Black Clover, where I was just like, all right, the next episode, okay, that's filler. Okay, what about the next episode? That's filler. Okay, what about the next? That's where I kind of was getting in, and so when I think about stuff like that, like the older time periods when we had a lot of filler growing up, because you had that in Bleach, you had it in Dragon Ball Z, you had it in Naruto, you had it in so many different animes that were bigger at that time period, because again of how much that they wanted to keep it. It was ongoing. It never really was really truly off. It was ongoing. Now we have it to where we have that quality to where it's just like, all right, we got this one season, and they're more transparent of when the next season's coming out. So that's why I'm like, I think a lot more animes are coming out and they're not having to be filler. But also on top of that, you have so many different variety of high quality animes now. It's not like how it was before, where you had Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and that was practically it. Like, I mean, of course there's other animes, but I'm just saying it's just so much more easier accessible now. So yeah, that's my take on that. I definitely want to check out how not to summon a demon lord. I want to see what that is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I have absolutely no expectations of that anime. I saw it. It reminded me of that the devil is a part-timer. Yeah, it reminded me of the devil is a part-timer, and that's actually the only reason why I want to check it out, is just to see what that's about. It seems like a kind of an interesting premise. And then one last thing I want to leave you guys as a reminder: this summer Scarlet Nexus is coming out, but if you guys go on your PS4s and PS5s, probably on your Xbox Series X and S's, the demo is actually out right now. So if you guys want to check out, if you guys want to check out Scarlet Nexus, the demo is out right now, and this anime comes out this summer. So be on the lookout for all that.
Know what I'm doing later.
There you go. We're actually going to go and wrap it up. I got to get back to packing because, again, I'm moving out in the next couple of days. Very, very exciting stuff. No anime stream or no streams next week. So scot-free, ALWT scot-free. But then we should be returning the week after that. Just be on the lookout for the posts on our social media platforms such as Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the whole nine. You guys can also check out our content at www.alwcgaming.com. And of course, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, make sure you guys are reaching out to us at leastwetried.gaming@gmail.com. We appreciate to hear from you guys. We appreciate you guys. And of course, it wouldn't be right if I didn't end this without a little REPP sports sponsor out there. So make sure you guys are going out there. Make sure you guys are going to Red Sports, reppsports.com. reppsports.com. Type in ALWT Gaming at checkout. Get 15% off your Raise Energy, your water supplements, your workout powders, the whole nine. We, of course, are hype on Raise Energy. It's quite delicious. They got guava mango. They got Galaxy Starburst. They got sour gummy worms, voodoo. They got all sorts of different stuff. You guys should go and check it out. They also have an Apollo drink, which is actually pretty good. I think you guys are definitely going to enjoy it. So, again, REPP, and that's P as in Paul, sports.com. Type in ALWT Gaming at checkout and get 15% off. That is 15% sign off. There we go. Yeah, I am Malachai36. This is
Gravity-Mark 2.
We are signing off for the next 2 weeks. Until next time, everybody, Control, Alt,
Complete.
peace.